The Member of Parliament for Adenta Asamoah is seeking to drag the Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amoah to Parliament to explain why the footbridges have not been fixed.
Residents of the area say they will embark on a demonstration next week in protest of the unavailability of footbridges on the highway. 2 people have been knocked down on the stretch in the last 2 days, a situation which has angered the residents. He was speaking on the floor of Parliament.
The fact that the lights are not working, and Mr. Speaker, I will give information on that later. Happily, Mr. Speaker, I'm informed that the Ministry of Roads is bent on resolving these matters within the context of the larger loans for infrastructure that are being sought. I understand, Mr. Speaker, that there's a $500 million infrastructure matter that is coming up soon. Happily, I'm also in discussion with the Minister of Roads, and he is willing to come to this House and deliver an answer to an urgent question so that we know the true history of what has happened with that road.
Now, still on that stretch, a middle-aged woman is feared dead after a Kia truck knocked her down at Firestone on the Madina Adenta highway. This comes barely 72 hours since the death of a 33-year-old woman on the same highway at Adenta SDA junction. Now, when City News' Caleb Kuda returned to the highway, eyewitnesses told him they live in fear of being killed by speeding vehicles due to mainly the absence of footbridges.
The bizarre scene which led to what the residents suspect should be the death of the middle-aged woman is narrated by the security man who saw it all happen.
Yes, around 12:35 this afternoon. She was knocked down by a Kia. And we don't know whether she will survive or not. The way she was there, and I don't think she can survive. She wanted to cross the road because there was no footbridge for her to cross. So she was using the other exit. And it's like the Kia was coming. So she didn't know whether to cross or to come back. So she was like going and coming back, and all of a sudden the Kia knocked her down.
Now, the FIFA Normalization Committee has told Parliament's Youth and Sports Committee that it would require some 7.2 million Ghana cedis to run its programs. The committee met with the normalization body to interact on the state of the work done so far in the exercise of their mandate. There is more in this report.
The FIFA Normalization Committee has been set up to restore sanity to football and its related activities in the aftermath of the Anas expose that caused the collapse of the S4 Nyantisha administration. So far, the committee has met with football administrators, clubs and other stakeholders. The committee met with the Parliamentary Select Committee on Youth, Sports and Culture to apprise Parliament of the state of work so far. Here is Chairman of the Normalization Committee, Dr. Kofi Amoah.
Football can become a meaningful appendage to Ghana's economic infrastructure. The role it plays in entertaining us, in uniting us, those roles are important. But for me, an equally more important role that football plays is in the area of economics, in the area of job creation, in the area of creating good revenues for Ghanaian football clubs so that they can play their players well.
Now, Crabwell Limited and Casapreco Company Limited risk losing their operational licenses after it emerged that the companies were fixing tax stamps illegally on their products. The revelation was made earlier today when the Ghana Revenue Authority embarked on a compliance and enforcement exercise. My colleague Anita Arthur was with the team and filed this report.
Stamp policy was introduced by governments to check smuggled goods and also rake in the needed revenue for the states. According to the GRA, warehouse operators are enjoined by the Excise Tax Stamp Act to apply to the GRA for tax stamps to fix on old stock. This, however, was not the case with the ABL during the enforcement and compliance exercise. They were rather supplying the warehouse with tax stamps to fix on old stock. This, according to the head of excise units at the GRA, Kwabna Pao Anto, is an infringement on the law and will attract severe sanctions.
We will make sure that ABL account for whatever stamp that we have given to them, because the stamp that we provided were not for old stock. They were for normal production, to be affixed to production that they make. Now you send these stamps to these people. And, the stamps have to be, at the end of the day, traced to production. If you give you 10,000 stamps, at the end of the day, the excise duty returns that you file, you'll be expected to show 10,000 pieces of the product that you make. Now you have sent the products to these people. If you come for reconciliation, what are you going to tell us? They could be made to pay 300% of the duties and taxes. Those who did that could be jailed for 5 years.
Now, the leadership of the National Association of Sachet and Packaged Water Producers has increased the price of a bag of sachet water to 3 cedi 50 pesos from all tracks across the country. This was contained in a statement signed by the association's National Director of Corporate Affairs, Kwame Ejepon-Ntra.
Now, the association says it took the decision in consultation with all regional executives of sachet water producers. According to the association, the revised price takes effect from Monday, the 12th of November. It is, however, stated that the price of sachet water will be 30 pesos, adding that the price review has been necessitated by the rising costs of production and distribution.
Now, City News checks at the headquarters of Menzgold in Joul earlier today revealed hundreds of customers signing up onto the online model of the company's operation in gold collectibles and assured interest to clients amidst concerns of genuity of the new model.
Now, speaking to City News, the communications director of the company, Niyama Amatefu, however, clarified that the new model is out of the jurisdiction of state regulatory bodies. There's more in this report.
The customers were provided with the option of either terminating their contracts or migrating onto the online platform. Most of the customers, however, opted to migrate onto the online model. Although they agreed to enroll onto this platform, they still tabled some concerns. For some, their decision is conditioned on the projected prospects associated with the migration. They explain that the payment structure for customers who wish to terminate their contracts is a contributing factor. The communications director of Menzgold, Niyama Amatefu, however, explained that the new model is to keep the company in business.